What's up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to my playthrough of Elden Ring. Well, this isn't my first rodeo. In fact, it's my 8th playthrough at this point. However, this is going to be a new game. This is not going to be New Game Plus like you've seen in the past couple videos. No, for this series, I'm going to be playing through the whole game, at least until the DLC drops. This is the Road to Shadow of the Erdtree series. Now, if you like this kind of content from me, I ask that you share the video around, leave a like on the video, because YouTube doesn't really like to recommend this content to anybody from my channel for some reason. Even though Elden Ring is a very popular game, YouTube just, the way their algorithm works, it just doesn't like showing it to people. So it really helps a lot if you guys share it around. But for episode 1, we are going to go ahead and create our character, start a new game. Now, the build I was wanting to go for in this playthrough is not going to be anything strength-based. No, actually, this time, well, I've tried multiple builds on my previous playthroughs, but this time we are going to go with the warrior class, which honestly has one of my favorite looks in the game, and it's also a very good starting class because it is a power-stanced curved sword. It is power-stance curved swords that you wield with this class, and well, as anybody knows, power-stance curved swords are, are they powerful. But in this series, I will be going over the game. I will also be going over tidbits of lore that I'm aware of anyway. And I will possibly also get into PvP if Shadow of the Erdtree does not come out before I'm able to finish the main story. But we're going to go ahead and select Warrior. You know what? As for our name, I'll just go ahead and name it after one of my characters. For me, yes. Body type, we'll go ahead and make them female. let's go ahead and select one of my presets real quick. Ain't that just a beautiful woman that you saw before I changed her? Alright, enough of that giggling. I'm sorry, people. that just made me laugh. Alright, as for our keepsake that we're going to be taking, we're going to go ahead and go with the Crimson Amber Medallion because we only have 8 vigor with this class. And with that, we are set to go. Let's let this intro cutscene play out.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask, Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. And one other, whom grace would again bless. A tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord.
Alright, now that that intro cutscene is done and all that lore is dumped, here we are in this strange place. This is the first area you appear in the game. It's cut off from the rest of the lands between for some reason, although I think it used to have a bridge, most likely. But here, you will find your Finger Maiden. Though the path be broken and uncertain, claim your place as Elden Lord. The mystery as to why your Finger Maiden is dead, and honestly, if you look closely, there's still blood and it looks fresh. As to who is responsible for killing your Finger Maiden, that mystery still has yet to be solved. She is dead right now, and therefore, we are maidenless, and are not able to level up. So we are as we are now. And here we are, we find ourselves at the Chapel of Anticipation. And across from us, you can see the brilliant, ever-golden Erdtree, which towers above all that you see before you. And right across from us, directly across from us anyway, you can see what was likely part of this place at one point, or rather this place was part of it. before it was cut off from the rest of it. That is Stormvale Castle. The first legacy dungeon we'll go into. Right now, there really isn't too much to explore. We're stuck here until we decide to battle this little mini boss over here. So I'm going to go ahead and run over here for you guys. Now, the enemy that we're about to encounter is connected to Stormvale, which is why I say that this place was more than likely a part of Stormvale Castle at some point. What's behind here again? Oh yeah, there's nothing. That's right. There's a lot of nothing on this place. All you have is a statue of Queen Marika herself. And what we're about to fight. See him jumping down here? You're not actually meant to win this fight, but I'm going to try my best to actually kill him. Well, that ain't happening. The thing about the grafted scion is that they tend to attack basically endlessly. Because they have so many limbs, it's very difficult to avoid their attacks. Especially when you're jumping. But you're intended to lose there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Either way, you still wind up here.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side. We found her here after all. One of her kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Now that individual right there that we just encountered, she is a pretty important character that we will talk to more later on. But right now, we are in this cave, which is your tutorial area. You can see a little miniature Erdtree over here, glowing in the distance. But she gave you your flasks of crimson and cerulean tears, which are used to heal yourself and give yourself more energy. Or FP, as it's called. FP is the blue bar, red is your health bar, and green is your stamina. When you are not in combat, your stamina does not run out. But right now, we can explore this cave, and we're going to go ahead and talk to this ghost here. Brave tarnished, Take the plunge of learning and remembrance. Recall the arts of war and your warrior's blood. He's telling you to descend this place right here. This is your tutorial section. And right here, we come to the bonfire of this game, the Site of Grace, which is also what guides the Tarnished to their destination and their destiny to become Elden Lord. We can rest here to replenish our flasks if we use them. It also restores your health and stamina and your FP. Now this is our first enemy here real quick. This is a noble. Gonna go ahead and backstab him. Backstabs are incredibly powerful, as you can see. I would be one-shotting these guys regardless, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the backstab. As you can see, power stance curved swords are incredibly potent. It's what I like to call the blender for that reason. They kind of just annihilate anything they touch. These are all crafting materials. Roa fruits. Now this guy right here, he has a great shield. Now there is an Ash of War that you can actually use to make this easier on yourself. But the main thing you're going to want to do is get behind him and backstab him. He's the one that's actually supposed to teach you that mechanic. Let's take care of that guy real quick. And then we'll take care of this last guy real quick as well. Actually, it just told me to use Ash of War, so I'll go ahead and show you the Ash of War that I have on these swords, these scimitar. Spinning Slash, an incredibly potent melee Ash of War. Especially in PvP. This thing is incredibly strong in PvP because it just staggers everything. Even people who are wearing heavy equipment loads, armor and stuff, they just get blendered by this thing. And it true combos too, which is the scariest thing about it. You can actually crouch in bushes like this to hide from enemies, and that's what it was trying to teach you right there. But there really is no point. Here we come to our last noble in this cave. He had a bit more HP than the others, though. And right here, you have the Stake of America. It's basically a checkpoint, if you will. It's not like your Site of Grace, but they're usually in front of heavily packed areas or boss battle gates. It allows you to respawn without having to go back to a Site of Grace, whenever a Site of Grace is really far away from the destination you're trying to go to. But here, we come to our tutorial boss battle. We got another Soldier of Godric. We encountered 2 of those already. Except this guy has got a great sword. You got to be careful about that. Backstab him real quick. And then we'll finish him off with Spinning Slash. Yep, there we go. Easy peasy. He's a very easy boss, despite all the memes that tell people he's the hardest boss in the game. Those are just memes. Fiction, not fact. Here we come to our first gesture. And now, there's nothing more you can explore in this cave. There is one item over here, but you can't get to that right now. You have to go through a back entrance to get to that item. And now we are in a catacomb dungeon. There is a little dungeon over here that you can go to. However, you need things called stone sword keys in order to unlock this little imp statue right here. You need 2 for this gate. However, given the level that we're at right now, even if I did have the keys, I would not recommend going to this place because there's poison, there's a thing called a burial chariot, I think is what they're called, which will one-shot you. And the boss in this area is a bit of a nasty case. They're honestly one of the hardest mini-bosses in the game for me to deal with, personally. So I honestly would just not recommend going to that dungeon until you're properly equipped. And higher level, of course. But we're going to go up here. And we come to Limgrave. The most well-known area in the game and the first area you're going to be in. You're going to spend a lot of your time here because of how plentiful the exploration is in this area. There's a bunch of items you can pick up all over the place. It's also just beautiful. I love this area. It's just a very pretty place. And right here, come to another side of grace, and right there by it, come to your first friendly NPC. Do not attack this guy because he will kick your ass. A lot of very salty IGN game reviewers, those kind of people who want a easy mode for this game, made the mistake of aggroing this guy as soon as they started the game, and well, it made them not be able to continue because he will just keep killing you. Which is hilarious. Let's be honest here. And I'm sorry, but if you hit this guy 3 times, you deserve it.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Hmm? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity. Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me. Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly, to Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Drafted.
Right there. He just told you the boss that you are meant to fight. And the guidance of grace that he was talking about, if you'll look, you can see this little particle effect. It literally points you in the direction you're supposed to go. It's pointing to almost, not exactly directly at where you're supposed to go. No, the grace that's closest will point to Stormvale, which is over there on the cliff. It's actually, the grace that is right here is actually pointing at this little church over here. And down there, you will actually see a wandering mini-boss, a tree sentinel. And this guy, you know, we'll try and take him down, but he can be a bit of a pain in the butt. This early in the game, anyway, he can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Gonna try and get a free hit or two on him. You gotta watch out for that attack. That attack right there is the main one that'll get you killed against the guy in his first phase. That was weird. Okay, that was very weird, actually. Oh my gosh. That freaking threw off my game bad right there, but as you can see, this guy is a noob killer. He will kick your ass. He will kick your ass. His health pool is very high this early in the game, and he is meant to just kill you over and over and over again if you're not good. Now, my game got completely threw off right there because he decided to just ignore the stance break, which is what you saw when he staggered. That's a really good attack to get attacks on him. Oh, I freaking backdashed right into it. But yeah, you can see right there, this early in the game, it really isn't a good idea to fight him because you can't do enough damage. You're going to be fighting him for a long time. He also has a second phase where it can be very easy for him to just straight up one-shot you with most attacks because he has this really powerful shockwave that comes from the attacks he uses. So for now, we're just going to avoid this guy. Be careful, though. Because sneaking in this game, you gotta make sure that he can't see you. Because if he does see you, he will try to investigate. What I'm trying to do here is get my runes back. As long as we don't run, as long as we don't sprint, and we stay far away from him, he won't try and get us. Keep your head down, and just do your best not to get spotted by him. We will take him on later and defeat him because he actually gives you a pretty useful item. Pretty useful weapon, rather. Although it's not really good for its weapon specifically. It's much better because of the skill the weapon has. So as you can see, the Side of Grace is pointing this way now. We'll come over here to this smithing table, this anvil, and pick up our first smithing stone, which allows us to upgrade our weapons. And the second friendly NPC, our first merchant.
You're a tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Carly, purveyor of fine goods.
Now, he's got some pretty important stuff, but the most important item you're going to want to purchase right now is the crafting kit. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer.
Indeed. Indeed we are. We're also going to go ahead and buy this torch because there is something we're going to explore later on. Probably in the second episode, where we're going to need a torch in order to see where we're going.
Goodbye. Nice to do business.
This guy here actually used to be a lot more important in the game's story, but pretty much all of that was cut from the game's... Pretty much all of that was cut from the version of the game you see right now, unfortunately. Which, it's really... I say it's unfortunate because he's really kind of just here now. I really would have preferred if they hadn't cut that storyline from this character. If you want to know what that storyline is, I will link a video in the description below to a channel that goes over that cut content lore. But for now, we're going to come over here. Oh wait, hold on a sec. Let me just get rid of this real quick. Let me just get rid of that real quick because it's pretty much not something you want to use. It'll get you to your, it'll get you to the site of grace you last rested at, but at the cost of your runes. We only have 92 at the moment. It wouldn't really hurt us all that bad. Right now, we also can't level up. So we have nothing much to do other than explore Limgrave. You're going to come up to these Godric soldiers. There's a bunch of them over here. They're easy to take down, especially with power stance curve swords. As we discussed, incredibly potent. You can actually hear something here in the background. I'll get into what that is in a bit after I take out this other soldier of Godric. Go ahead and stab him in the back. Oh! Careful about these boars. They will attack you every now and then, like you saw right there. I forgot he was in there. We're mainly killing these guys for their runes, I'll be honest. Got ourselves some kukri, which are really good throwing knives. There's a little cave over here that you can go into. It's optional. We'll go ahead and get the site of grace so that we can just teleport here later on when we want to go here. I don't know why I hit the instinct, I guess. But as you can see, resting also will respawn enemies in this game. So you're going to have to kill them all over again. But I'm actually going to go ahead and let this guy hit me real quick. And I'm going to use one of these. He actually gave us some bolts, crossbows. What you hear right there, all that twinkling sound effect, is this little bugger right over here. The scarab. If you take him out, that will replenish your flask. As you see right there. We used one, now we have one back. There's all sorts of things that you can do in Limgrave. Those eagles you can kill if you want, though they do fly away usually before you can actually slash them, unless you have a long-ranged weapon, as you saw right there. Already raining. Good grief. There's another stake of America that we're at right now, just in case we die. But we are not going to go over here into this camp yet, because this camp is very heavily populated with a lot of enemies that will kick your ass. We're going to just go ahead and avoid all that, and instead go over to this side of Grace over here.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erdtree. Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring. Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Alright, now we have our firekeeper of this game. She's actually a very important character in terms of the lore of this game. There's a lot about her we still don't know, actually. Not for certain, anyway. There's a lot of theories regarding her as a character. She just gave us access to our spectral steed, Torrent. So we're going to go ahead and equip that. And summon him right in. Now, he's really not that good for anything other than traversing great distances. Let's see here. You know what, we'll pass the time. This is one of the things that you can do, because at night in Limgrave in particular, you'll encounter quite a bit of enemies that don't appear in the daytime. You saw them in the background, those big-ass bats. Yeah. There's a lot of them at night.
Oi! You there. Could you help us out?
But right now, we'll get to that guy who's speaking here in a sec. Right now, we'll kill this guy right here. As he kicks me in the face with his horse. Aim for the horse. Oh. Aim for the horse and you'll knock him down. And then you can completely destroy him with a critical attack. He actually gave us his pants, but we're not going to be wearing those.
Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I?
The dialogue you were hearing right there is actually something that I'm surprised people still have missed. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only bush in the game that looks like this.
You there. Could you help us out, Cully?
But this is actually an NPC. Now, how he was turned into a tree still remains a mystery.
Yeah, you there. Stop pretending you can't see me.
And he is not even aware that he's in this form. Now, if you want to get him out of this form, you either have to hit him, jump on him, or roll into him. I'm going to go ahead and roll into him.
What'd you go and do that for? Oh, yes. I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Boc. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really. Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the cave, they took everything I owned. And so this is all I have to express my thanks. I hope you can forgive me. Or, well, if you can afford to wait for a while, I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value. Then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon. Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore.
Now, this guy here, he's actually a member of a race called the Demi-humans, or Demi-humans, rather. They are kind of almost primate-ish in the way that they look. They have almost a monkey appearance to them. They're regarded as especially ugly and reviled by most people in the lands between. They're kind of a cross between primates and goblins, essentially. But Boc here is fairly unique. In fact, he's the only one that you encounter like him. The rest of the demi-humans in the game will just straight up try and murder you, because they're savages. Boc here is a very civilized individual, and that is why he has been outcasted by his clan, or his tribe. I don't know the terminology that demi-humans use for their groups. We got some nobles over here. Take the guy out with the torch. We'll go ahead and kill this guy too. And let's see here. Oh, actually, look at the time. That's actually all I have time for this episode, guys. So we're going to go over here to the Site of Grace and cut the episode off. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, share the video, and subscribe if you are new to my channel. I do my best to upload as often as I possibly can, and it helps to get the videos out faster in the future and motivate me to keep uploading this sort of content. I appreciate you guys a lot, and I hope to see you all in the next video. See ya!